I remember back in the COVID years, I got bored and decided to search through my old belongings where I found something that caught my attention. An old sketchbook from years ago that I didn't end up using. I really had nothing better to do, so I looked for a pencil, put on my headphones, and drew. I spent that entire day drawing and it didn't even feel that way. Time flew by so fast, and it's as if I'm in my own world and nothing else mattered. I got reminded of how much I love art. When I was a kid, I loved drawing on my sketchbooks, where I created my own worlds, my own stories. I love art, but due to some unfortunate events, which I'd rather discuss some other time, I stopped, and it would take years for me to eventually start drawing again. It took a lot of reflecting and disappointing my family aside, I decided to take a break from university. It was to take a break from my studies, but also I wanted to learn art again. So I packed my bags and started, or rather, restarted my art journey. It's pretty important to pick a goal before starting anything, so let's go with a simple one. I want to love art again. And here is where it began. I'm sorry it looks unprofessional, but so am I. Give me a couple of 100 days and I'll get a proper sketchbook. Anyways, I began by drawing faces, and as you can see here, it looks pretty bad. I don't know how to draw the features, I'm just like winging it and judging if it looks weird or not. This one though, it took me a lot of time and it shows it looks better than the other ones, and I'm actually surprised that I managed to draw this well. I spent a lot of time erasing and trial and erroring the face until I get it to somewhat look like a face. From these, you can probably guess that I was using anime references, which is fine, but if you want to learn anatomy, real human references are much better. Now, you might think, why am I making just one drawing in an entire day? Well, I don't. The reason these aren't proper sketchbooks is because I rip the pages from the sketchbooks. I choose the pages that I like and I hide those that I don't like. My insecurities really are showing. It will take me a while, but eventually I will learn to keep even the bad drawings. Some of these are pretty good though. Day 5 and Day 25's hair shading are way too good considering this is basically the start of me learning to draw. This probably contains nearly 200 days worth of progress. I started drawing anatomy, started using boxes and simple shapes to get the perspective right, but don't look at the hands. I guess I felt guilty about the hands, just a giant hand on the center of the page. See, I'm trying to prove something. I can draw hands, I just refuse to. Okay, so I stopped drawing poses and just focused on the face because it really needs a lot of work. I realized that the eyes are the most important detail since it is the one thing people tend to gravitate towards when looking at artworks. This next one is one of my favorites. I remember being so proud of this one. Genuinely, it felt like I was the next Picasso or something. Like, look at that. That is amazing. Honestly, even today, I don't think I can replicate it. And the next one, yeah, I guess I got lucky the day before. I kept on trying though. One thing I've learned is that art is not a linear process. It slowly ramps up, then spikes, then goes down a little, then up, down, then back up again. Some days you're the son of Michelangelo, and the other, you're a complete beginner. But the thing is, you don't have a choice in the matter. This is cute. I like this one. You just need to keep going, and eventually, you get to make something better again. The faces start to get better eventually. It seemed I got a bit used to drawing them. Today I started drawing poses again. Plus, I did manage to upgrade my arsenal. I got a set of pencils and smudging tools to help with the shading. These weren't too bad, really. The anatomy is somewhat believable, the muscles just need a little bit of emphasis. I got more confident and started shading as I neared the 100 days. And honestly, it looks much better. One mechanical pencil has its limitations. Graphite pencils and these smudge tools help with the shading. Still a lot of work, but for 100 days, this is good progress, and for me, that is worth being proud of. I recorded this one. I was uncomfortable while drawing it, which is probably why it looks bad. That looks ass. The eyes are too big, the mouth looks bad, and the chin is non-existent. I have been using Lumi's method, but I wasn't using it properly, so the face always looks weird, but nonetheless, I kept going. I also started using some charcoal. Back then, I didn't even know the difference between charcoal and graphite. Pencil is pencil, and for me, charcoal was just a darker shade. Okay, pause. This is where things get accelerated. See, I wanted an art style. I wanted my drawings to have a process so that my drawings will somewhat look similar to each other. Although it will take so much longer than I thought, it all starts here. I spent so much time drawing it. This is probably the best skin shading I will ever make. And the eyes are also pretty well done. The eyebrow needs some work, but I was really proud of this one. Yeah, ignore this, but generally, the faces slowly become more and more consistent. I remember this. I was so mad whenever I included hands in my drawings, it would look worse somehow, so I practiced drawing hands. Tell you what, it didn't do anything. Even months later, it still didn't improve, and for some reason, I draw one thing and it looks good. I draw another, it also looks good. I combine it, it looks horrible. This one is also one of my favorites, Christmas Day. The folds need work, but the face looks really well done. Look, I told you, the hands, it just makes it worse somehow. One thing I've learned during this journey is that motivation is such a huge factor. When you're motivated, it feels like learning is so much easier. And the opposite is also true when you feel discouraged. When I feel like I'm making no progress, I look at my past drawings and I can see how far I have come, and it allows me to keep going forward. Okay, I took a little sidetrack this following days. I zoomed in on the body, looked at the parts, and studied them. I started with the hands, then the most important part, the torso. I basically drew the torso in different angles to better understand the shape. I was using boxes at first, then swapped to a round bean shape because the body isn't a box. The round shape makes the body more flowy and dynamic. I got quite good at it, so I switched to them legs, which was quite easy and straightforward, so I immediately switched to something harder. Brace yourselves. I figured I didn't actually learn how to draw these things yet, so I might as well. Hands are hard to draw, but I think feet are equally as hard, especially the toes. I'm so happy with this ones. It felt like I can finally draw what I wanted to draw. Like all the time and effort was worth it after all. And the following ones were just as great, which means I had some form of consistency in my drawings, and the good ones weren't just me being lucky. A little over 200 days, and I managed to find a style and a process that I like. It's so fulfilling, honestly, in my entire life, as funny and stupid as it sounds. This is probably one of my proudest achievements. Let's start a new chapter. We are back on the messy papers. It's a mishmash of papers from multiple sketchbooks. I know. I'm sorry. I promise this is the last one. In these papers, I will learn how to draw clothes because I was really bad at it, and also I didn't want to keep drawing naked characters. Folds though are really difficult to draw, and honestly, even today, I don't think I fully understand them yet. Today, I experimented on a new medium, ink. People told me that ink improves confidence, which, as you can see from these drawings, I wasn't very confident. By day 244, I tried doing some realism. This first one is not that bad actually, it's pretty realistic, and I was actually amazed that I managed to do it. The next one though, I did something that I never did up until now. I drew a man. If you can guess who he is though, I don't think I did him enough justice. I did a lot of face practice these following days, which actually helped me get used to the process of drawing the face. Right now, I think it's almost second nature to me. I did another attempt at realism and a more specialized, what do you call it? Stylized art style, which will be the last time I will be drawing the face using graphite. In a while at least. But then, here comes a turning point. This is where I have come to a conclusion as to what I want to learn going forward. That is, character design. These past 250 days, I've pretty much been learning how to draw the human body. Now, I want to learn how to make characters. So I scrolled for some characters for inspiration, looked for some poses, and started making characters. I've been playing around with some color combinations as I basically know nothing about color theory. Some look better than others, but nothing really stands out. So again, I went to the basics. First, I want to learn how to use pens. I limited myself to black and white pens and markers and just tried to get used to using ink first. But I've come to realize that I was relying too much on the markers for shading, which is why I decided to store the markers and do some hatching, which was the right call as these ones look really good. The contrast between the hair and the skin is so good, which made me really fall in love with ink. I got so much confidence that I began using colors again, which was a hit or miss, so I went back to black and white again. I somehow got worse, but then slowly I got better, then better, then better. Yeah, I pretty much love using ink at this point. Finally, after 300 days, I got a proper sketchbook. Day 296. I started this thing where I go to a website that gives me a random object and I attempt to make a character out of it. Not gonna lie, this one is pretty good. The black and red is a tried and tested color combination. In terms of character design though, I'm still learning how to draw it properly. I know some stuff about shape language, line widths, and these silhouettes that make the character more recognizable, but executing it is another thing entirely. I've also started incorporating stories about what the character is supposed to be in order to give more ideas on the design. This is the most effort I've committed for a single drawing at this point. Though it looks very appealing, there's a lot of colors, there's a lot of details, the pose is very dynamic. In my opinion, it looks very all over the place. A lot of confusing colors, and the hatching is inconsistent across the artwork. The design, however, I really like. If I ended up making several revisions of it, I think it would have worked. But because this is the first version of it, it looks very messy and incoherent. If I were to put all my progress at this point into a single drawing, this is probably a good representation of it. And by looking at it, I can easily identify the parts that I need to improve upon. I kept on using ink for a few more days, but then I realized something. I have been using graphite for the majority of this year, and I want to be able to showcase that in my final drawing. I love pens and inks and markers, but I had this urge to return to using pencils. Graphite is my comfort and I wanted to draw artworks using pencils again. Also, I will be ending this journey on day 320. Now, I know what you're thinking, but aren't there 365 days in a year? Are you dumb or did you just clickbait us? To that I say, both. But you're several minutes deep in the video already, so you might as well finish it, right? But honestly, I decided to end it early because after day 320 is my birthday. Plus, I will be returning back to college, which means another chapter of my life is starting. And it makes sense that I will also have to open a new chapter for my art journey. I have learned a lot of things this past year and I will continue to learn new things in the future. I feel like I've achieved my original goal from a year ago, which is to learn to love art again. Now, it's time to start a new goal and a new chapter. I love art so much and honestly, I did it non-stop this past year. The reason I was motivated to wake up every morning was because I get to draw again. I did these drawings that I showed you, but I also did some other artworks that I still haven't shown you. Some physical drawings I did while I was bored and also some digital ones. I'll show it at the end of the video. But before that, I wanted to make something special on the last day in order to showcase what I've learned this past 320 days. So the following days are just a refresher and basically a review for a big test in the end. Okay, now I wanted to get some ideas on the poses that I will be doing. As well as the clothing, I want the pose to be mystical with some flowy clothing along with it. And then, I went on to draw the face, as well as some accessories. And lastly, I have decided to record my drawing process for this final drawing. I'm not really good at this stuff just yet, but this is my final artwork for my first year of learning art. It incorporates all the things that I've learned this past year, from faces, body anatomy, clothing, and even character design. I even used some ink to give some emphasis to some parts, and I love it. It's not perfect, but it doesn't have to be. I had fun drawing it, and the fact that there are mistakes just make me more motivated to improve on it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. It took me a while to finish this, quite literally an entire year, but it was worth it. I'm still drawing as of the making of this video, and I'll continue to. As long as I still have the drive to keep learning, I'll still be drawing. I hope I inspired you a little bit to pick up a pencil, because art is beautiful, and though the journey is long and not an easy one, the reward will always be worth it.